Okay, welcome to the Learn First podcast. My name is Jay. I'm your host. Today I have Sven with me, who is going to introduce himself as we like to give our guests a chance to introduce themselves, what they do, what they're looking to do in the future, and kind of where they want to take things and how they want to have the conversation today. So, Sven, I'll give you a chance to go straight in.
Thank you. The stage is mine, right?
Stage is yours. The stage is yours.
Thank you. My name is Sven. I am originally from Ukraine, so it's a fake name. Sven is for American and international people, since I'm here in the US territory and I'm working with Americans and with international students. So my name is hard to pronounce, but original name is Sviatoslav. If you wanna try to pronounce that, it's gonna be hard, but I will appreciate because it's very hard job.
Yeah, I mean,
I
I asked
am.
you, sorry to cut you off. I did ask you before we got rolling that, like, how do I say your name? But we went with Sven. So, yeah. Yeah.
It's the most common question every day. I got it.
Yeah, yeah.
I am international admissions manager in Midwestern Career College. It's the college in Chicago, Illinois.
Okay.
My department working with F1 students. I'm in charge of enrollment and admissions, only international ones. So today, I am more than welcome to share my experience and knowledge, how we oversee that processes. And in education area, I am more than 10 years. I started to sales higher education even in Ukraine, and I was working with Kaplan and Navitas. Maybe you know them. It's a huge
Yeah.
providers in Europe, and they have some branches here in the US. So even now here in the US, we are working with Kaplan school and Kaplan provider, Kaplan Pathway, if I'm not mistaken. After that, I was working with ASU, it's Arizona State University. They are very popular in the US. If I'm not mistaken, they're top one in management. Their Thunderbird School of Global Management is top one across the US. So they are very huge university. And then I decided physically to stay in Chicago, Illinois, and I started working in MCC. We provide vocational education. We have associate degrees. In the US, the education is very flexible. It's not only bachelor and master and PhD. We have different certificate programs, diploma programs. So we are trying to be flexible for international students. I think it's like the unique option that US provides. And we have ESL programs, is like English as second language, and healthcare programs.
Okay, fantastic. We do a lot of those ESOL in the UK. Like it's massive in the UK. Fantastic. Thanks for the great introduction. Again, very experienced. I'm looking forward to picking your brain today, if you don't mind. And
Of
we do have a
course.
list of questions that we're going to go over. But just to kind of start off going off script a tiny bit, I would love to know kind of from your experience, um, where do you see most like where are most of the international students coming from? Do you have a rough idea in your head, percentage wise, percentage split, just out of random curiosity? We'll get into the main questions shortly, but yeah.
Based on my experience working in the US market, most of the students are from Latin American market. So
Okay.
they are from Brazil, Colombia, they are from Venezuela. They are very close to US, so it's easier for them to come and
Mhm.
start studying. The second reason why they decided, because we have like the very good for them visa regulation. So they can stay in the US, they can work at the same time when they're students. So we are in charge of change of their statuses here in the US. So I like my experience is most students from Latin America. Also, if we are talking about ESL programs, a lot of students from Saudi Arabia.
Really? Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, we have a lot of Saudi Arabian students. We have a lot of Mongolian students.
Oh,
But based on my experience, in my team, I have different counselors. They are from different countries. We have like Mongolian counselor, Brazilian counselor, Colombian counselors. So like it's a diversity of our colleges. And they trying to engage their communities to our college because they have the same mentality. They have like their own language. It's easier for them to speak in their own languages. So now we have top three countries. And MCC, it's Brazil, Colombia, and Mongolia.
Wow, interesting. Very interesting, but not surprising, I guess. In the UK, obviously, the biggest ones for us are Europe, a lot of Middle East as well. But yeah, it seems to be a proximity thing. It's proximity, isn't it? And then obviously visa situations are a lot easier if you're coming from Latin America slash South America compared to if you're coming from all the way from Europe. But obviously Saudi's an interesting one because it's literally it's across the world.
Hmm.
But very interesting. But we got a lot of South Middle Eastern people, Saudi people in the UK as well, studying ESOL and many different things. But yeah, just a random question that I would thought I'd go off script with. But yeah, quite interesting. So we'll get stuck in, I guess. I mean, the first thing for me, so the context of this podcast session, obviously, we already know what we're going to be talking about. It's more about student recruitment, admissions processes, and then marketing in general. Just for the education sector, again, on the further, we call it further education, which is what you guys do, obviously, vocational based and vocational type education. So it's quite different from full higher education, but similar.
Yes.
It's similar in the similar in the sense as well. So we know that the strategies around that can be different, and there may be some interesting takes we can take from this, or other people that are watching can take from this. So, first question is, what are some of the key strategies you found most effective when it comes to enrolling F1 international students at the college, at Midwestern College? What have you found
Thank you.
the most? Yeah.
Thanks for that question. But if you don't mind, I want to highlight, first of all, the benefits of vocational education because you already mentioned that you have um, that. And I think because before I was working in Ukraine and I worked with different students who was focusing on bachelor and master, but when you are 17 or 18, it's very hard to find yourself. And you don't know if you want to spend 4 or 5 years in that area. And bachelor and master is more like about research, about general information, general knowledge. So when you like finish in 4 years of bachelor degree and you still don't know like your preference, your passion, and it's a big problem. So vocational education offers easier journey, education journey. It just two
Yeah.
years or 2 years and a half is very practical education. So right after when you successfully complete that vocational education, you can start working. And we help our students to find the jobs. They visit different job fairs, so it's more practical. About the question about the most successful techniques or strategies that we use for enrollment, I think the first one is to show them home away from home. It's very important. We're trying to show them that even here, very far from their home, they can feel cozy atmosphere, their people, their community. And when the student never been abroad, they start getting very stressful. They don't know English. So we are trying through social media, through communication, through different channels to show home. And I think we're very lucky in Chicago because Chicago is the city when we have a variety of different communities.
Mhm.
So it's easier for us to show their community and say, oh, your people here, they started with us and you can feel home is the first. The second, I think it's a formula. Students trust only students. It's referral campaigns.
Okay.
So we are trying to work with our current students and to encourage them to referral our programs to their family members, to relatives, friends, and other people. Because when they can provide their own experience and education journey at MCC, other potential leads and students can trust them, can believe them, and based on our experience, 100% they apply to be enrolled. And the third
Good
strategy
conversion
is,
rate. So it's
sorry,
sorry to cut you off. It's a good conversion rate then from obviously the referrals like the best conversion rate, I'm assuming.
yeah. analyzing like some numbers and conversion, referral every time works.
Yeah.
What about you? Do you have the same thoughts about referral campaigns? Does it
Yep.
work in the UK?
Yes, it does. We're a systems building type business, and we've built systems for referral programs for students because it works. The learners, we like to call them learners, learners slash students. They definitely trust other students more than they'll trust us. And part of the system we've created is we're really focused on content, video content, because anyone can write a review online, and sometimes people don't really trust reviews, written reviews. So what we're working on is just getting many video reviews from learners as possible. And yeah, that's literally it. And then pushing it into our system. And maybe something we could talk about later on, but we'll push it into our referral system.
Agree.
And
Hmm.
that starts to produce more referrals. And then, yeah, so it's a cycle. So, yeah, we do a lot of data analytics as well. We look at the numbers, we look at the cold approach conversion rates, warm approach conversion rates, referral conversion rates, and then potentially repeat student conversion rates as well. So these things are quite important. But yeah,
Great strategy to analyze everything is
yeah,
very important.
it is. It is. It's not as easy as you. It's not as easy as I may make it sound, and it's not cheap, but it's worth it. So
Yeah, as
yeah,
I mentioned, students trust students, but we trust numbers.
you know what? I like that because you know I'll be honest. That was gonna be the students trust students was gonna definitely be a headline for a clip.
Uh,
Was gonna steal that, but that's another one. And we trust numbers, yeah, 100%. So any sort of anyone working in admissions listening to this, no matter where you may be in the world, need to look at your numbers more because once we started doing that, everything just started to make more sense. And we definitely increased our conversion rates. We just did an analysis Friday, weekend, and yesterday, and now we've made a massive decision that's just gonna do so much more for recruitment for our clients. And it's like we just wouldn't have known if we didn't do the data analytics. Yes, it took a weekend. Yes, it took extra work, but we know that already the results are already it's already proven. We're increasing conversion rates straight away. But I did cut you off, so I'll let you continue.
I think the last strategy that I want to share with you is about communication is a key. We are trying to be very transparent and very honest with our leads and our students. We are
Mhm.
trying to provide them very easy steps of enrollment, admissions, so they can like trust us before they apply for the program. And we are trying to follow that strategy. Communication is a key through our social media as well. We are not providing very complex information like what documents you need to submit to your application
Yeah, yeah.
form, what like you have to expect from F1 regulations, especially this year when everything's tricky. But we are provide easy, calm, and trust information for our leads. It's important.
Yeah, I totally agree. And the way you've just explained it makes so much sense because you're not complicating it and you're not overselling. You're not just like overselling and confusing students. And I think they like simplicity. But a lot of big organizations, like you said, you worked for ASU. Like we work with some big
Yes.
organizations over in the UK. And the reason they have to work with us is because they overcomplicate everything because they're big, so it's understandable. They're massive. They've got massive teams. Everyone's doing different things. Not everyone's communicating. People are communicating in silos. So it's like smaller organization like us that can be dynamic and agile. We can create clear, simple messages. So our campaigns versus their, internal team campaigns are way better. But it's just because we're more agile, and we can communicate in a way to learners that they see affinity with, they can connect with, they understand, and then they're like, okay, this is interesting. And then we pull them through the funnels and the processes. So yeah, I totally agree with that. We're definitely singing, we're on the same page, we're singing from the same hymn sheet. So that's what.
Yeah, education works like business. If you can explain your business in 2 words, it will be successful
Mhm.
because you will provide the information to your clients, to your customers, and they need to get the point, what the idea of the business for investors and what the purpose of the product for customers. So only communication is the key.
100%, 100%. Yeah, I love those points. I love those points. We can kind of transition over into the second question. But I think again, a lot of people that work in admissions and student recruitment could take some of those points away, take a bit of value from it. I mean, moving forward, because again, I know your focus is mainly international recruitment, so that is a very competitive space. So I'd love to know how you guys at MCC differentiate yourself, or how you personally may differentiate yourself. Yeah, it's tough. Like I know someone who has an agency similar to ours who just does 100% international stuff for the USA and the UK and Canada. And he broke down the way his business works. It's tough. It's like it's very tough to compete. And some of the success that he's had is similar to the stuff that you've bought previously. So it's like his biggest thing is he makes them feel like he's all about community. So he has a massive YouTube channel, like over 75K followers. And these are all potential students. And it's all about building a relationship with them, communicating with them, making the whole process as easy as possible, whether it be visa, traveling, trying out programs, enrolling for programs. So these are the things that he's found success with. So again, he's just got an agency. So with you guys, I'd love to know a bit more about how you're differentiating, because it is tough, as I can imagine.
We are fighters, but we are not fighting with our competitors. We are fighting with the obstacles that students meet on their journey. We
Okay.
know our benefits, and when the student or a lead just came to us, we are trying to use like some sales strategies to question them, to ask them about their needs, and then we customize our offer, very individual offer to every single student. So we are focusing on our benefits. And as I mentioned, we are not saying anything bad about our competitors. We are in very good relationship with our competitors, and they don't fight with us, and we are not either. So our like difference, it's to know the benefits, and all the time we remind our students about our benefits. First of all, it's vocational education. The first one is very flexible and affordable tuition. Comparing the different schools in Illinois on the market, MCC is the most affordable, and we provide very nice quality of academics. So one more is about like maybe OPT or CPT. It's the chance to apply for work at the same time when you're a student. Not every school can provide that option because you need to be certified. You need to get the chance to provide that to students.
Mhm.
So I think it's one more benefit that we have, OPT and CPT.
So, okay, so a full 360 approach to what the students want. At the end of the day, they didn't, they want the outcome, which is a job or career. And you guys can provide that 360 approach with being the cheapest. So I guess it's about maybe not the cheapest, but close to being one of the most affordable. So I guess
I didn't say the cheapest. I said the most affordable.
yes, yes, that's why I corrected myself. So yeah, you've got a really great offer in your market, in the Illinois area. So you've differentiated that, and I guess you're just communicating that. So as you said, you're not being super aggressive trying to fight everyone. You're just trying to give the students the best opportunity to tackle any learning barriers that they may have, and show them exactly what the offer is, because it sounds great to me. So most definitely. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, with just a quick one as well. It's kind of an extension, but like, well, I guess it moves on to the next question. Really, is how are the admissions team handling some of the policy changes that may be in place currently, previously, and maybe again coming up with F1 visa regulations and all that sort of stuff?
As far as everyone knows, we have a new administration in the US, and this year is very different than others based on my experience. And we are very flexible this year because, for example, recently, all international students they couldn't apply for a visa interview in the US embassies around the world. It was on pause. And like every week we have more and more obstacles. We are trying to dance around the enrollment. We are trying to like to run from one corner to another. So I think that this year every institution in the US have to be very flexible. We are doing 3 terms, 3 intakes, fall, summer, and winter. And every term, we do like individual targets based on the previous intake. We cannot like set the goals for the whole year because we have no idea what we have to expect next week, only step by step. But that regulations and like some changes that we are experiencing right now very affect on international education in the US.
Yeah, so yeah, I can imagine a lot of challenges, but I guess, as you said, it's difficult to project. This kind of, I guess, my second part to the question is how do you manage, learner enrollment target, student enrollment targets, and what you guys are currently doing? I guess you kind of just answered it. You work back, I guess you kind of reverse engineer what's been happening, and then you can see how you could potentially work with that to your next enrollment period and kind of take it from there, which is kind of is what it is, I guess. But for just a bit of a side note, but we're actually developing a tool because we like to build systems. We're developing a tool that can, potentially help predict curriculum through data analytics. So it's something we're really looking at. We're literally developing it as we speak. But if we can look at a lot of the data, factor in a lot of this stuff using AI, because before this was not really possible in an affordable rate anyway. So that's something we're looking at. Because I think again, you're a data guy, I'm a data guy. We like to look at data in education, and it kind of leads where we go. So that's something we're looking at because again, a lot of our clients have that challenge for many different reasons. But most of our clients are in the UK, but there's different reasons, but it's the same challenge. So it's yeah, it can be a challenge overall. But again, solutions are on the way. But with that being said, what do you we'll move on to more of a marketing slash outreach sort of segment to the podcast. Just to see where your ideas are at with that. So for me, what I'd love to know is digital marketing. That's what we've been doing. That's basically what our business started as is a digital marketing agency, kind of evolved into a student recruitment agency, and now we do a lot of data and AI system building. So I'd love to know again, what is the digital marketing outlook? I know you are not a digital marketing expert, but I know you're probably enrolled in some way, shape, or form. International student recruitment is quite interesting. So again, I'd love to know kind of roughly where you guys are at with things and where you guys kind of plan to go.
By the way, I have the certificate by Google about digital marketing, so I'm like kind of expert in that
Okay,
area.
good. Okay, good. I got the same one.
Digital marketing is very important for lead generation.
Mhm.
We are trying to work with marketing team very, very close every day. We are like update our website with the keywords with some information that when like the people do some Googling or searching, they can find us on top list of their searching is very important. We are working like to update the keywords on the search, and we are focusing more on the social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. So we are trying to analyze by Google Kids like some tools about the conversion rate, about the some different rates. Um, but I think that right now, focus on social media than on like some Google or some search platforms.
Okay, interesting because I was just gonna say it seems like you guys are really focused on Google, which you should be, SEO, which you should be. You're in the local state, local Illinois area, so definitely you want SEO. But yeah, interesting. So with the messaging on social, so I guess it's just similar to what you said earlier. You're really trying to get the message out there, home away from home when it comes to international students, communicating the clear value proposition about potential affordability opportunities and obviously career opportunities afterwards. What do you know what platforms you guys are really focused on, or is it just make sure that you guys are clean on every single or effective on every single one, shall we say?
What do you mean? Like
Like,
if we are knowing?
Are you heavy on Instagram, or is it just we're good on everything? Or is it, are we heavy on TikTok, or because obviously Google's Google. Clearly, you
Hmm.
guys are focused on
It
that.
depends on the content. For example, if we have something like when we wanted to show the campus life or some activities that we have, it works through Instagram. If
Okay.
we wanted to do some campaigns, like easygoing campaigns or like ambassadors overview about campus or other things, it goes with Facebook. We never know. We are trying to post everything on each platform that we have, and
Hmm.
then we analyze which contact we have more engaged by comments, likes, repost, and other thing. So now it's like equal focus on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay, nice. I was going to get someone to check, but you guys, are you on TikTok yet, or?
We have some content for TikTok because it's very specific content
Yeah, yeah.
for TikTok. I guess we already launched the account, the profile on TikTok because I saw some videos, especially for TikTok. So I assume that, yeah, we have a TikTok.
Okay, cool. Again, a lot of institutions are trying to jump on TikTok. Some are having a lot of success, some others aren't as much. But yeah, TikTok's just somewhere you need to be, really, isn't it? Because again, a lot of people on TikTok will be related to people that could potentially be students of yours and or students directly on there, but then also people will grow into your target demographic eventually anyway. So that's something you need
Yeah.
be a good place to look at. Okay, interesting. Just a quick one before we move kind of swiftly move on. Um, What's your, do you know much about kind of the paid strategy, like the paid media? Obviously, Google's already paid and it's already sorted. Do you guys do a lot of paid stuff on Meta, on Facebook, Instagram, or?
We do some payment on Meta Business, but I'm not like the expert of that. Like I don't know the expenses that we are spent for Meta
Yeah.
Business, but I know that we do something. And we when we want to boost some post or some very important content, we pay more. It's
Okay.
obvious.
Yeah, common. Yeah, it's quite common sense. Okay, that makes loads of sense. I mean, We uh we discussed earlier around outcomes and careers and the offer that you guys have compared to some of your competitors. It would be good. I mean, I'm just curious as well because we're finding this as a business, and we're developing a lot of systems to support our clients with this because ultimately the student we call it like a 360, isn't it? Like if you're able to help me find a program that's right for me at your institution. I can then do that program in the most affordable way possible, whether it's a loan, whether I pay directly installments, whatever it is, you make it easy for me. The program's great. You guys are great. The next thing I want is an opportunity. So, no one can guarantee anything, but if you can give me an opportunity in the field that I want, that's really the outcome everyone wants. So, my question is, focus on the back end, the outcome, the 360 offer of education with the career at the end of it, slash interview. Um, how important is that for you guys? And what I'm really asking is what percentage of importance would you give it when it comes to your communication and your processes with potential students or current students? Like, how much do you put it to the forefront that look, we can support you with X, Y, Z. You can get into these careers, X, Y, Z, for whatever reason. Because we do a lot of that stuff in the UK as well. We do stuff in nursing because we have a lot of connections with the main healthcare body, which is the NHS, National Health Service, and they are desperately looking for nurses. Again, we have a nursing program, end-to-end nursing program, so we can offer that 360 approach. Same with fitness, personal training. We have a lot of connections with fitness institutions, so it's a case of we literally say we got these opportunities, and we actually do offer the opportunities to the best students who actually do graduate, and even people that need an extra bit of support, we can provide the support and get them up to standard to be working in certain institutions as well. So, but it's a big thing. We push that first. A lot of the times with our campaigns, we do a lot of paid media. A lot of our campaigns don't even mention much about the program until they speak to an advisor. It's more about the outcome. And then we find those are sometimes more successful than others. So, yeah, what kind of percentage of importance would you put to the outcomes and focusing on communicating that to students, especially from places like Latin America? Um, Yeah, what kind of importance, what kind of percentage you put on that?
Very interesting question. Thank you for that. I wanted to divide that answer into three groups because we are offering three different offers. When we talk about ESL programs, it's very hard like to find something nice for you after you finish the program when you know only English. It's only a skill,
Yeah.
but you need to have like the profession. You need to have professional skills. So we are encourage our ESL students to stay with us and to do the internal pathway to associate programs for marketing, business, accounting, and IT.
Hmm.
And most of them, like 85%, they staying with us after ESL. When we talk about associate programs, everyone knows that Chicago is very popular area to have headquarters of different companies around the world. So we have a lot of agreements with business companies, different kind of companies that
Hmm.
our students can try themselves. We are providing internship for them. We are providing like different fairs visiting to their companies, and then they can get the offer. And we have a percentage of students from MCC who got the offer from different companies here in Chicago. And the third category, it's healthcare. We have like some um, colleges of like one holding, I would say like that, and they're more about medical programs.
Hmm.
So in MS and MCC, we have for international students only three medical programs and ESL healthcare, but from other colleges, they have a lot of different medical programs. In the US, it's very successful to get the medical education. And we are working with different clinics, with different hospitals. They do practical training of MRI, of dental technicians, of other things. And especially when they are on the program, they do internship on different hospitals.
Nice.
So we are including that percentage through communication when we are doing the enrollment with our students, and we pay a lot of attention to the practical outcome afterwards.
Okay, fantastic. So again, a lot of good local work, it seems, and partnership building
A lot.
you need to support students. And it seems like something you do, which again, a lot of institutions do is what's the word I would use? I guess combined. Create custom solutions, isn't it? Because as you said, ESOL straight into associate programs. These are, as you said, it's custom. So when your sales team do talk to students, it's
Yeah.
a custom consultative sell, which is obviously the way we want to do things compared to more of a sleazy car salesman approach to get bums on seats, shall we say. So it's obviously you're providing a solution to people and adding value ultimately, which is fantastic. I want to go on to the big question that everyone's talking about right now, which is AI. I say question, subject, call it what you want. It's just everyone's on about AI for some reason, even us. But it's getting boring already. But what I want to actually look at is something that we've noticed. And again, what we've noticed with a lot of vocational training providers and colleges in the UK and even globally as well, we've done some work in the UAE, we even started some work in the US, is so we've worked with providers that are one some of the biggest and best providers in the UK, and we notice a pattern. So the pattern is that the mindset of the provider or college is more commercial than public sector, if that makes sense. So they have a
Okay.
more commercial mindset. So like you just mentioned yourself, you said there's a sales process. We focus on delivering a solution that's one-to-one to that person, and we also want to deliver an end-to-end solution. These kinds of terms we notice when organizations or people that work in these organizations have more of a public sector mindset, they struggle with those terms. They may not understand those terms. They may not like those terms when it comes to education. So just quickly, what are your thoughts on like a public sector mindset where it's more about administration compared to and just like ticking boxes basically. So, if I'm a student, I apply, we just take you through the typical process compared to what you've offered, which is a solution that me personally, if I was to ever do something with you guys, I'm sure you wouldn't treat me as if I was a person from Latin America or Saudi because obviously I already speak. So it's like you're giving me a solution that's kind of one-to-one, which again I think is more of a commercial mindset, focusing on delivering something for people, which is again including a sales, which is a sales process compared to a lot of education we found again for institutions across the globe, mainly the UK, is more of a public sector mindset. It's more of a we have a pro course or program so just do the course or program, not considering you may be from Saudi, not considering you may need an ESOL program. They usually consider this later because it's all more about administration. It's more about getting you on the program. Okay, we've done everything correct. We ticked all the boxes. Oh, this person could use ESOL. Okay, we do the tick the boxes again, put them on ESOL. But instead of just having a sales process, I mean, it may sound silly. Correct me if you've never heard of this before, but from my experience working with different organizations, the bigger and best, the biggest ones and the best ones typically have the right mindset, which is a commercial mindset, I would say. So, first thing I guess is, have you experienced that where working in different organizations or with different organizations in education, especially vocational, where they have more of a public sector mindset, where they're a bit more slow, a bit more administrative compared to commercial, where it's more custom and sales? And then, yeah, then what are your thoughts on it, really?
Um, awesome question. Um,
Thanks.
when I just started working like a sales manager in Ukraine, and we are selling the like British universities, most of them were state universities.
Hmm.
And I had the experience to work with enrollment teams of state university. It was very tough, to be honest, because every case is different. And sometimes you need to be more flexible to accept the student, but it was like very, very difficult to convince them to accept the student because they have a protocol and they never, yeah,
Yeah.
they are never out of the box. Agree with you. There are some pros and cons why students decided to go to the state universities because of like brand awareness about like the diploma. But I believe if the student pay more to the private section, um, they need to have better service and better education. So from my area of enrollment and admission, we're trying to customize every student and every partner that we work with. For example, we are working with some Brazilian universities and they want to have just very short summer or winter programs. We don't have short programs. We have like 3.5 month program when
Mhm.
then we enroll and they finish the term. But we understand that we want to have more students and we want to be more customized for them. So we created short programs for them, and everyone, like teachers, instructors, professors, different teams, they're flexible to get more students. I think when the state sector will realize they don't have enough students, they will be more flexible as well.
Okay, so they will evolve, I guess, is what you're saying. They'll evolve into more of a commercial mindset compared to the more public sector mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. That's interesting. I mean, they're quite legacy in terms of what they do and who they are. So again, God knows how long that change will take. But yeah, okay, fair enough. I agree with a lot of the stuff you've mentioned. That's brought another question to mind, which again is not really on script, but I think I like to go off script at times. I had a discussion with another agency of similar to ours that are again bigger and more international. And his again, this may be a bit of a controversial statement, but you guys again are in a vocational space, which means as you said, your programs are short. You can be as short as 3 months, it can be 2 years. It's more affordable, less commitment. Now, what are your opinions on this? So I've spoken to a few people that have got a lot of experience, and their opinion is higher education and including some of the vocational level stuff as well. They think higher education will change by the year 2040, 2050. It will have to evolve. It will be forced to evolve into something that's a lot more vocational in terms of pricing, structure. Everyone will have to have a commercial mindset and they'll have to compete more with the private sector because his opinion was that higher education will change forever within the next 20, 30 years. and not really for the better, in terms of for them, in terms of for
Hmm.
institutions. And also his belief is, again, I'm just love to know your opinion, is that corporations will start this. They will build their own universities internally within their corporation. So instead of it being it'll be Apple University, it'll be Amazon University, and that will be an official university that anyone can go to and take 3 years there, 2 years or a year, or maybe half a year, and get certifications that can get you paid within Amazon, but anywhere. Like it'd just be like Harvard. So that's his prediction. I found it interesting. So I'd love to know your opinion. What do you think, over the next 20 to 30 years in higher education and or vocational? And then what do you think about that opinion on the corporates? And obviously, every other business will follow that structure as well.
I'm European who works in the US and trying to to get the American mindset. So I think it's the best question to me. Um, I had the experience when I was working with Europeans and offer like ASU education to Europeans, and they're like, "Why I need to have like IT master degree if I can go to Amazon and they already have the internal institution and they can like teach me everything for their company." And I think it's the big difference because if you want to be the expert, the full picture expert, you need to have a general education, practical education, but from different fields, from different companies' experience, from different practical oriented companies.
Mhm.
When you do just internal institution education, which is very popular right now in the US, you're only focused on that company. And I know my friends, they are working like in the sales team, in internal education institution, in like some very huge companies here in Chicago. They're focusing only on their company and their development. They provide only skills to that tailored communication to that company. So if you want to be inside the box of the company that you're interested in, you can go to internal institution and apply for them. But you never know if you will be in that company 5 years, 2 years, or you will change your mind
Mhm.
and you will have some life obstacles or different like relocation to the different continent. It's not your company, you're not owner of that company, so you have to switch the company and all your knowledge will be not valid anymore.
Yeah.
But when you have the vocational education, you will have that knowledge in your mind and you can be flexible and you can like implement that skills to the different companies.
Okay. Interesting. That's yeah, when I had that discussion, I didn't think about it like that. Because obviously stuff like AWS, most organizations are using that in some way, shape, or form, and they have a million certifications, but which is Amazon Web Services, so anyone doesn't know. But okay, interesting. I totally agree. Life does happen, and ultimately, you're not, you don't know where you're going to be. So being as flexible as possible is great. And I do agree, foundational education, which is, can be potentially quite general, but then you then go into specific stuff as your career grows, which is think of what I think a lot of experts, as you said, people that are really good, that's how they did it. It wasn't just one specific field, because again, you are vulnerable and things change. Like, I mean, with the introduction of AI, how things have actually gone is crazy, which is kind of it's a great segue into the final question. AI. So everyone's on about AI. How are you? What are your personal thoughts about AI in education, whether that be on the teaching and the operational side, or for what we do, which we've already implemented AI into the admissions, marketing, and student recruitment processes, and or yes, mainly the processes and operations side of the actual marketing and sales side. So yeah, what's your opinion on it? And also. Yeah, do you guys have plans on implementing that? Again, I don't know if you can disclose that on here, but do you have plans on implementing that? Have you guys had strategy calls, strategy meetings yet, or love to know a bit more? Just out of curiosity.
And I is the best friend for everyone now.
Okay, we're in the same boat then. But yeah, I agree.
I cannot like picture my life without an eye, and I afraid of that fact. And all my friends, we had recently the discussion about that every day we spend um, like some time, and we share our thoughts, and we use that for the personal life and for work as well. I truly believe that I never cover the real human communication, and human needs human. I mean, yes, we use NI for translation when the students they barely understand us, and we need to translate something in Spanish or in different languages. We use NI in our CRM systems, in our like communication tools. We use it, but at the same time we filter that communication,
Mhm.
human filter that, because everyone can feel that, everyone can understand if it's artificial communication or it's real. So we are not using for communication NI just for translation,
Okay.
but we use NI for different operation things. It takes less time. For example, when we wanted to research like all Illinois high schools for some campaigns or some colleges, before it took like 2 days to visit their websites, to
Oh yeah,
analyze the
yeah, yeah.
information, to get the email address and other things. Now it's like 30 minutes and you have all database about that. So you decide how to use NI, and we use for operations and for translation. Of course, for like numbers, for some marketing things, but I don't think that NI can cover communication. So we need to have enrollment team.
Okay, interesting. I love the way you guys are using it. There's actually a college in the UK that was trying to implement a translation because they're like I think they're the second biggest ESOL provider in the whole country. So they were trying to implement some AI translation tools. So I'm sure if they're watching this, they might find that interesting. But we're actually developing one ourselves. But that's another story. I need to remember my question, which is so you said so basically you mentioned that obviously AI is you're using in certain like translation operations, but you don't think it can communicate just yet. You need an enrollment team. So I mean that's my question. So we are using AI in communication. Now you mentioned that people don't they can tell it's AI. From our experience, and maybe we can this could be a second podcast or whatever it is, but from our experience. So we have many different systems, and part of our admissions process for some of our clients, well, all of our clients at this point, is we use an AI chatbot, but it's a lot more than a yeah, but it's a lot more than a chatbot. It's a conversation. It's called conversational AI. So the way it's prompted, coded, and supported, we've created a system around it. So it's not just a chatbot. It's a chatbot within a system. And there's five chatbots. They kind of work as a team. But long story short, from our experience, and again, we do a lot of data analytics, and we've got this new tool that will give us like actual numbers that we'll post on LinkedIn. 95% of people do not know they're speaking to AI because the way we've structured it and the way we've coached the AI to work, because it has data. So we humans in our team have data on how students speak, how they like to be spoken to, how they respond typically, because we've been doing this for 6 years. So like we then feed that into the prompting and the coding, but then also we give it tools. We give the AI itself tools to lead the conversation a certain way, and that's what works, I think. So just a basic AI chatbot, yeah, it's too basic. But I think with the system, it works. Well, I don't think I know because it does work. But again, I always look at the data. Literally 95%. We're gonna have exact numbers very shortly, but 95% of people don't know. 5% of people do. They're like, is this AI? And some of the reasons they ask is because the AI, so our AI chatbot works from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday to Sunday, which is great for us because it's way more efficient and we can get a lot of people, a lot of leads and students coming on the weekend. Before no one was speaking to them, now we have response. So a lot of people are like, it's 7 p.m. on a Sunday, like, how is this college responding to me? So that's what they're like, okay, how is that possible? And then sometimes people will just be like, you're almost too good. Then they're like, is it AI? And then yeah, but we've trained the AI to tell people that we're not hiding it. So we tell the AI, make sure you let people know, especially if they ask. But yeah, so to kind of what you said, we've created systems that allow us to use AI in the initial processes as well. But as to what you mentioned as well, yes, of course, we still need a student enrollment team. Yes, we have an internal student enrollment team who are fully trained, but we also have college such client student enrollment teams as well. Um, I think AI right now, like you said, it's your best friend. So what we've done is with these systems that we've created, it just made our team way more efficient. Like one person can enroll double the amount of learners. And again, we're having all the data analytics to come out with kind of the performances we've seen over the past 12 months. But it's like that's all it's been doing right now. So it's not really stealing, it's not stealing any jobs. It's just making every single student, sorry, not student, enrollment officer on our team and the college's team more efficient, which means they can enroll more students and it's at cheaper cost because you're not hiring more people. So it's just become more efficient, which is again what we all kind of want, especially at the initial stages. I don't know what's going to happen in 5 years. I don't know if it's going to replace all of us, including me and you, but that's what we found anyway. If with the right systems, it supports the student enrollment officers. But again, some of that education, which is consultative and it's a big decision, it's a personal decision. It's going to change someone's life, ideally for the better. I definitely think a human touch is very, very important at some point in the process. Again, I don't think I would ever want to take that away. But again, 5, 10 years from now, I don't know what's going to happen, to be totally honest with you. But yeah, those are my thoughts. I thought I'd just quickly share that with you, really, and kind of respond to what you said. But yeah, I mean, we're gonna have loads more. We have loads. We're doing a lot more podcast sessions, so I'll be curious to know again what other people, what use cases other people have found for it. Some of the people that we've spoke to in the UAE are doing a lot of. They're going straight into voice AI. I won't mention who, but they're going straight into voice AI. So I'm sure you've heard of it. You know, the voice. I don't agree with that. We've also tested that. Doesn't really work that well. But hey, in the UAE, they're saying it works in Dubai in particular. No, sorry, Sharjah, which is in the UAE, which is next to Dubai. So yeah, it's interesting just to hear different opinions, hear how people are using it, and look at the numbers. I mean, if the numbers make sense, if it's working, who are we to argue with it? But yeah, that's kind of what I found with AI. So I'm sure there'll be a lot more conversations, a lot more developments as time goes on. But Sven, I would like to thank you for coming on. It's been a great conversation. I appreciate your energy and your honesty, but also just kind of the vibe as well. And I'm sure the viewers have as well. Just to kind of round up, I'd love for you to share any information or anything you'd like to promote, obviously about you personally or again the organization MCC. I'd love to give you the stage again to just kind of close it up.
Thank you so much for that conversation. It was very, very impressive and very useful, I guess, for every views. Um, about AI, I think is going to be next topic to discuss because I was the ambassador of some AI onboarding enrollment videos with some techniques. So I have the experience to compare which one better, and I think we have a lot to discuss about AI. But thank you for inviting me to that podcast. Thanks for your interesting questions, your feedback, your insights. I really appreciate. About what I wanna recommend something to the viewers and recommend something. If you decided to have the education, vocational education, I suggest to follow the formula. First of all, to decide what country you want to study. It's very important for vocational education, not the school. But first of all, it's the country. The second is it's about institution. Just do the review as much as you can about that institution. And the last one, the major, the specialization,
Mm.
because sometimes students they mixed up with the formula, and based on my experience, three steps: country, institution, specialization. It's the most successful formula to use for your final decision.
Fantastic. I think that's a great way to round off. By the way, I just want to say I love your I want to call them one-liners and phrases. You know, student to student, students trust students, organizations trust data, and the way you just structured that, I love that. Again, I think again a lot of this stuff is going to go out on LinkedIn and other platforms such as YouTube. I think some organizations will see this and potentially get in touch, if they want to partner up, and potentially some future students, especially international ones. So again, I want to thank you again, and definitely we'll go for a part two, a round two, and we'll discuss AI because I think there's a million things we could discuss. We're going for like 4 hours. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a lovely rest of the day.
Same to you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.